welcome to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews. I am Jeff.
I'm Ben.
I'm Mark.
And we are here. That was awkward, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
We are here today to review, scrutinize, and maybe celebrate the new album by
The Motet.
called
Don't know.
All Day. And Ben was the chooser of this album.
Yes, sir, I was.
Explain why.
Just because I knew it was their new album, and Spotify kept recommending it to me, and I said, hey, I do want to listen to that, but I'd like to just throw it in for this, and I want my first time to listen to be for this. I didn't want to come into it having already heard it or anything, coming in biased. I mean, I already am biased because I am a Motet fan, the Motet fan. So I was already inclined to like it. So I chose this, and let me pull up the thing here for this. This album was released January 18th, 2023, called All Day by the Motet. 12 songs. It's about an hour long. It's like an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It is long. Maybe
Okay.
unnecessarily so.
So real quick, before we do anything, let's take these shots.
Oh.
Let's do it. I like how dark your whiskey is.
Yeah, what is that? Cheers, mates.
Oh. It tastes exactly like wild cherry Pepsi, which is delicious. You guys regretting that? Because I'm not regretting mine.
It's definitely a mixer as time goes on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No shame in that game.
Yeah, I think I'd turn that one down. Well, I won't because I'll probably take one more, but in the future.
All right. So here is the Motet. Just going to give you their top line Wikipedia, and then I'm going to switch over to Bandcamp and give you their little paragraph about them.
Okay.
So the Motet is an American funk, soul, and jazz-influenced group based in Denver, Colorado. Founded in 1998 by drummer and band leader Dave Watts. The Motet is Watts, guitarist Ryan Jalbert, sorry for fucking your name up, I'm sure, bassist Garrett Sayers, keyboardist Joey Porter, and saxophonist Drew Sayers.
With a dozen past members.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you keep going down
A lot of
Wikipedia, you'll see
interchange.
they've run through the gamut of people.
Oh, sure, no doubt. All right, so this is from Bandcamp. Since 1998, the Motet have inspired the world with their unique style of dance music. Over the course of 9 full-length albums, they've jammed through the lines between funk, soul, jazz, and rock, and built a die-hard audience in the process. They've headlined Red Rocks Amphitheater 6 times and sold out countless legendary venues coast to coast. And then they got some shows coming up. Anyway, so that's the Motet. The very first song from theirs was Supernova, or of theirs that I heard was Supernova, and that song was dope as fuck. It's really funky, kind of disco-y, real catchy chorus, nice. I don't know, don't put me on the spot for the lyrics right now, but, it's just kind of a catchy disco song almost, disco funk song. And I'm like, yo, this song's dope. Went and listened to Nemesis next because that was their next most popular song, or maybe their most popular song. And I said, this is honestly exactly like all the other shit that I've heard at jam concerts. And that's the way pretty much everything else I've heard from them is. Even when I went and seen them in shows, it's kind of whatever until they played Supernova. And I fucking went fucking nuts because that's the song I came to hear. But
It's really all about Supernova for you.
for me, yeah. I mean, I like them enough to have bought this Motet, the Motet.
If you like a song enough, you can consider yourself a fan.
Support the band.
Yeah, of the band.
Yeah.
There's lots of bands out there. People make music everywhere. If somebody's got something that really draws you to it.
But yeah, I just picked this because it was their most recent. And I figured, let's give it a shot, boys. And
Yeah.
I think overall, we're pretty disappointed by it.
Swing and a miss.
Well, it
Well,
depends
that-
on what
yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
for. Like,
Yeah.
if they do that like funk, soul, jazz, jam band sound well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that any one part is bad. I think the first song is probably the
Exactly.
best song because you're like new to it. like your first hear, like so like the first one out of the gate, it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool, and then it's like, okay, this is kind of the same, and it's like, are they gonna sing at any point? And then it's like, okay, I guess they're not gonna sing.
Yeah, there's only like
like
2
a-
songs with words on this album.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed on my notes that I screenshot for you, but some of them said no words, words. I was just like, come on, let's get some words in here, man. That's what's bringing me in. That's what drew me into the band.
79 and Sunshine, I believe, are the 2 songs with words, and they're right next to each other, and one bleeds into the other quite well.
Dracus.
Yeah, that's the one with like the Peter Frampton.
Yeah, and then
effect the whole time.
And then Can't Fool Me. Has
All right,
words.
so I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, there's like a repeating chorus.
It's not Sunshine.
Something in it, yeah.
I mean, I think there's another song that has a couple of words here and there, maybe, but not
It's
enough.
not enough.
Not
yeah,
enough to
it's
be like, yo, those lyrics were fucking dope. They were fucking inspiring. I'm going
they
to go
brought
change my
something
life.
to the song.
No, it's just like they're just repeating the song title basically.
Yeah.
But otherwise, this album to me, fellas, is exactly what a jam concert's like for if it's a band that you're not really into. Even though I'm into them, this album is not what I'm into them for. So there's a lot of times at shows I'll just be standing there and I'm just like, come on, guys, I'm so fucking over this. Do something else. Overall, as far as this album goes, I'd say every song, maybe not a particular song that we're talking about necessarily, but like every song could probably be about a minute shorter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. This could be half the length total of
For
the
sure.
album, and I think it would be easier listen.
And I think, and I think I've said this before, but this is where the debate between does the album for a jam band, like what does that really count for? Like what is that really saying? I've said in the past, like it's basically just them putting a pin in where they're at musically, and then putting that to tape, and then now they can go do other things because probably for the last, in some bands' cases, they've been touring on that album or variations of that album, different jams of that album for the last couple of years, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, is this the way to hear this album? Is this the way to hear this album? I don't know.
Do they do something with it live that makes it better?
Right.
Like you're saying, it's
Right.
a pin in time, so like that's their inspiration. But when you go to the concert, I doubt you're getting a 4-minute, 32-second song
Exactly.
played that
No,
way
you'll definitely
in the
get-
concert.
yeah,
There's going to be
exactly.
something different.
That's what I'm
So
It's the same
to
with all
me,
concerts.
I feel like just be honest to what the craft is. Just do what your concert would be. Just go nuts. If there's improvisation in your concert, like give that to me in an album. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that funkiness taken to the next level. And you're saying like, well, maybe it's not taken to the next level, and you do get kind of this repetitive feel, which is exactly kind of what this album is.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of length in each song to get to the next level and then bring
yeah.
it back. I mean,
But they don't.
But they don't. Yeah, it's
Not
just
on this
like-
album.
It's like being in an elevator of like a new business.
An hour-long elevator.
Yeah,
You remember
you're
the
just like,
eights on the
it's
eights?
just like this is the music you hear in the background of somebody who's like a little funky. You know what I
This
mean?
is-
Like it's
yeah.
not typical of it. Like
Yeah.
they have cool elevator music, or they have cool like on hold music. Like this album you could play, and people would be like, yeah, it's kind of like funky, little jazzy. Little...
You guys were saying for the first song how it might be one of the better songs on the album.
Backseat?
When I went back and listened to it today, I actually wrote a couple of words for it. I said I get some real serious 90s TV show opening vibes, or like, background music. I in my head, I kept thinking of like Bill Nye the Science Guy type shit, that type of show.
Sure.
Or like, Saved by the Bell. Like, it could have been used as buffer music for any TV show.
In between the high school hallways and the tennis court.
100%. Now we're in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
Mr. Belding is coming.
Drawing class. They just put it in the background, and you
Oh
just
my God. I failed drawing too in high school.
You had a drawing class?
Yeah.
What song did you guys think was probably the best song on the album?
Eagle
Oh, no,
Twin.
before that, I want to hear what your album scores were.
Oh.
Like, if you had to give it a score.
4.
Really? Wow. To me, sub 5 is like, you're saying, like, this song's not even good. Like, there's...
No. It's all right. I have a justification for that. So as we've kind of generally talked about, like, there's really nothing below a 5 here, but nothing excels past maybe a 7, 7.25.
That's generous.
Yeah, and that might be generous. And so when I take a look at the album, I have one song maybe 2 songs that I like to explore. I actually, maybe there's 3. But, like, they're not songs that are going to make it into a playlist. I'm going to remember, the Motet, and I'm going to go and enjoy that song.
You're going to put Supernova on a playlist, though.
Supernova is good. But, like, these 3 songs, I liked all day because it sounds like other songs. Mm-hmm. And then I really enjoy Evil Twin because it's probably the highest energy. And then I also liked Prophets. Something Prophet. Prophet something?
False Prophets.
False Prophets. That got real funky for me. That's early on in the album. And after that, it does die down for me, even though you've pointed out some songs that I went back to and listened, and I was like, I get it. But regardless, we're talking like 5 to 7 range here. They're all okay.
Mm-hmm. So your overall score is below all of that.
Yeah. Because I would never go back to it. I am being like, I just don't think I'll ever explore this album as a whole to that degree. Whereas like Amon Amarth, I've gone back and listened to that album.
When that's something you like
a ton of times. That's like, what I'm saying. I'm giving a very honest score.
Filet mignon.
So yeah,
comparison.
That's what it is for me. Okay, that's why I'm giving it a 4.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Marcus, I get the floor is yours.
Jesus.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I would say they float between 5 and 6. But
the songs?
Yeah, like there's not like any one song I listen to and I'm like, man, I cannot listen to this. Yeah. But there's no song where I hear it and it was like, can't wait to hear that again.
Or like, man, when's this song gonna end?
Yeah, you get to that point. I would say the first was Backseat the first song.
Yes.
First song, and then All Day was the one that kind of sounded like a couple different hip hop songs, no matter
Gin
how
and
you
Juice,
there's
Eminem's something.
Those 2 I got behind, but after like listening to an album form, like those are the first couple songs. After that, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna finish this hour, but it's like I'm not paying attention to it anymore.
No.
So yeah, 5, 6, you can have it on. Like I said, it's good hold music. You know, maybe a concert would be a different scene. I don't really know. I think you would have to like. It'd be hard to enjoy this sober.
If you check, if you were to check the set list beforehand, and you were to see they were doing a lot of
the new
this
songs.
album, it'd be one of those things like who's the supporting act or who are they opening for, or is this like part of a festival or something? You're like, because I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I'm gonna.
I'm not gonna go see these guys at Bogart's
unless they're playing Supernova every night. I'm there.
Supernova night. They play Supernova 10 times.
Yeah, if they would just add a lyric, like if they were singing to any of these, they could be as good as like Church of the Cosmic Skulls in my mind.
Yeah,
even like back in the day, like the artists are adjacent to this, like Fish and the Grateful Dead. Like I could listen to some of that, but not really. But like. Some of the newer stuff like Church of the Cosmic Skulls, their like latest album was like good and in the same vein. Like I think they could have been that too because their sound is really good and funky and like fun. But if you were to add like fun lyrics, then it would just like bring the energy up to where you could enjoy it more.
Yeah, totally.
This feels like an album that is dependent on the scene and fans that already exist. I don't think they're doing anything special here.
Yeah,
I've heard
you don't
all
really
of
make
this.
money on albums either, so it's like
Yeah.
They probably have a pretty good following of festival.
If I can say something positive about the band, when I saw them live though, their drummer was just so fun. He was so fun.
David
to watch.
Watts.
Yeah, it was great. He's just seemed like really tight. I don't know all the drumming lingo, but I'm gonna say in the pocket. I've heard that term, those words used in that order, in reference to drummers before. Let's just get out. Let's just get out of here. I think overall, it's fair to say that we're all pretty disappointed with how this album turned out. I don't disagree with anything you guys have said. I'd give it, although I would probably give it a 6, just because no song is like bad. No one's playing wrong notes. So like I think 6 is Okay.
It's just too much as an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one song thrown in there.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, who picked next week's? Did we, Jeff?
I don't really want to say like I picked it, but since we're going for later albums and
more
it's
recent.
a wider, more recent albums, it's
Yeah,
a
new
wider
releases.
audience, and I think it's tolerable for all of us, at the very least tolerable.
And relatable to youth-ish.
Yeah.
They've been
Because
around
that-
for a long time.
Because when I think about us, I think about youth. Gentlemen, let's bring it home.
So we're going to go with Paramore's This Is Why.
Let's not start talking
Let's
about being young.
Because we're not.
Right.
What's the album?
This Is Why by Paramore.
Okay. All right.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates. I'm sorry.
Ah.
It's bad.
You like what you see?
If you like what you saw here today, please like, subscribe.
Watch the show.
Love you guys.